Welcome to Tapped In. My name is David Figueroa-Martinez, and this episode is entitled Don't Quit on Your Worst Day. I have this saying, and I don't remember where I picked it up, to be honest with you, but it's something that I've said repeatedly to different people who have maybe felt like they were getting ready to quit or wanted to do just something different because they felt like Jiu-Jitsu wasn't working out. My philosophy is you should never quit anything on your worst day. Your worst day is going to be filled with a lot of emotions. Sometimes it's derived from nagging injuries or just these bad rolls. Maybe you're on a bad streak when it comes to rolling. Maybe you're in a bad streak when it comes to competing. Maybe you're just stressed with life and there's just a bunch of stuff going on that just doesn't make any sense to you and it doesn't seem to be resolving itself. It's hard. It's really hard. Jiu-Jitsu in general is something that you're going to be doing hopefully for the rest of your lives. But in order to get to black belt, it's going to be 10 to 12 years. At some point in that journey, you will have wanted to quit, or you almost did quit, or in some cases you did and you came back. I wanted to quit right after I moved from my first to second gym. It was a really hard time for me, and I found it really discouraging and difficult to come in to a gym. I had just switched. I was going to a new gym. It was, at the time, everything that I wanted, other than I didn't have my old friends. It was really difficult to find the energy and the drive to want to get up and drive and go to this gym where I knew no one. I didn't have the drive in me. I was not motivated. I did not want to go. It wasn't fun. I love jiu-jitsu, but it was a weird stage in my life where I had left this gym and I'm going to this new gym where I know no one. And as an introvert, that's not the most fun experience to have. And I just would sit in my car, frustrated, unmotivated, and want to go home. And I would force myself to get in. There would be times when I was at home and I would not want to get dressed to go to the gym. It wasn't in there. And it took time, and I had to be really patient with myself and really patient with what I was doing, what I was expecting. And I just had to follow the process and continue to go, even though I didn't want to. And there were days that I didn't go. There were days where maybe that week I just went once. It just was what it was. And after some time, things started to feel more familiar. I started making friends. I got comfortable with the gym. I got comfortable with the people I was around. And those people actually made me want to go to the gym. It was far different than everything else that I was experiencing at the time. And when I look back at that and a couple of other moments where maybe I wasn't so sure about whether I wanted to continue, I look back and I'm incredibly thankful that I did. And I look back and I'm thankful that for whatever reason, my brain was able to at least kick in some form or fashion and say, no, we're going to go. We're not going to quit this shit yet. And I'm incredibly thankful to whatever part of me that was. And I'm thankful to the people that were around. They had no idea. None. I'm thankful to the people that were around that just were good people to spend time with, and they were good people to roll with and good people to laugh with, that they pulled me out of that funk that I was in. And those bad days didn't seem as bad as what they had seemed like. Your bad days are going to be different. It might be centered around what I went through. It might be centered around some gym drama, something someone did to you at the gym, something someone did to you outside the gym, work, whatever that might be. You're going to have experience at some point in your journey, at least one of these episodes, if not more. And they're going to nag at your willingness to continue. It is really hard to love something for a decade plus. Look around you. Look how many people have worked at the same place for a decade. Look at how many people who have been in a relationship for a decade. Look at how many people who are pursuing passions that have lasted them a decade or more. It's far and few between. We can find a couple of people who are still married 15, 20, 30 years. Find a couple of people who are still at the same job. Very rare these days. You'll find a couple of people who are at your gym that have been at that gym for a decade. A handful, maybe. But it's hard to find that. So it's telling you how difficult this road is and how hard it is to get to these places where you want to get to, but you have all these speed bumps and repairs and pitfalls and mistakes and job loss and loss of humans, like people pass, and you have to continue to do the thing that you want to do regardless. In these really emotional, trying times, your emotions are going to make whatever the situation you're going through that much more heightened and that rawer, or that much like just searing. Like if you're in pain or you're dealing with self-doubt, it's going to feel so raw that your instinct is going to be, maybe this isn't for me and I got to stop. Maybe I should go do something else. Maybe I should go pursue this. But at every turn, no matter what you're doing, if this is your passion, this is the thing that you love, it doesn't matter what else you pick up. You're going to go through these same feelings, some form or another. That was one of the things that I think kind of helped me through some of mine, where I'm going to go through this regardless because it's life. I'm going to go through this regardless because it's something that just occurs. So I need to figure out what it is that I love about this thing so much and hold on to that, regardless of what the emotions are telling me and how frustrated I might be with a certain situation or a certain person or myself or an injury. This is the thing that I love doing. I have to find a way to do this thing regardless of how I'm feeling. And yes, breaks are perfectly fine. You can go through something, an injury, personal dilemma. You could have been wronged at the gym. You could have been wronged at work, whatever. You can take time off. It's perfectly fine. Some people will tell you, no, don't take any time off. You're never going to come back. And some people don't. They made a different decision for themselves, which we're going to respect. But there's nothing wrong with taking a little bit of time off to kind of reassess yourself and the relationship that you have with Jiu-Jitsu and the relationship that you have outside of Jiu-Jitsu and whatever might be going on. But don't up and quit. I tend to think that I want to give myself some time to see what can come next and understand that, hey, I may have lost this tournament. I lost a tournament one time, which I cried at. That's in one of the podcasts. I think the story one. And it was one of the most difficult times in competing that I had. I had left a gym and was in my car, again, crying because I had left home, in essence, my jiu-jitsu home, and I had to go find something else. And that was daunting and scary and emotional for me. But I didn't make the decisions in that 24 hour. That first day or two are the most raw, and I let it just kind of sit. I felt everything that I was feeling. I felt everything that I was supposed to feel. And then at some point I decided, okay, things are going to get better, and eventually they do. And then I got to make decisions on what my next moves are going to be. I don't want to necessarily quit, but maybe, hey, in some instances, you might want to leave the gym you're at. You might want a fresh approach and a fresh experience because of something that went on at the gym. Don't quit. Don't allow someone who maybe ruined your experience be the reason or get to be the reason that you decided you wanted to quit jiu-jitsu. And I know that's easy to say as someone behind a mic because I don't know what you've gone through or what you might have gone through. There's a wide gamut of things that people can go through at jiu-jitsu gyms, and some of them are horrific. But if you have a passion for something, whatever that might be, there's going to be some really shitty people in your life, and there's going to be some really shitty people that are going to almost ruin the event or the exercise or the space for you. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't do the thing that you love doing. Understand that all this is going to suck for a bit, but eventually you start to get through it and you start to make amends with yourself in some instances, and you stop being so hard on yourself, whether that's because of an injury or a mistake or maybe a decision you made. Maybe you, like me, one of the things that I had a hard time with when I left one of the gyms was that I accepted too much for too long. And I wasn't getting ready to quit at all. I just needed a change of venue. But it was a moment where I had realized that I accepted way too much from this specific person for way too long, and I should have bit the bullet or had enough confidence in myself that I could have landed somewhere else and been completely fine. And I sat too long in that space, and it robbed me of too much. And I had to come to terms with it with myself and forgive myself for accepting things that I shouldn't have accepted. And sometimes it's going to be, that might be you. So there's a whole host of reasons why we're going to quit, or feel like quitting, I should say. Give yourself some time. If it's a serious enough issue, get some counseling. If it's a serious enough issue, take some time away. But don't allow yourself to quit on your worst day. I don't think there is anyone who reaches black belt or years down the road from that bad event who says, I should have quit there. Like normally, for all of us that get to black belt or get to a moment, we start flashing back to all the bad shit we went through, or all the bad things that happened and all the good things that happened and the struggles that we had the entire time. And I don't know anyone that has said, oh, I regret getting this belt. What I do know is people maybe regret how they handled certain things, or how they accepted certain things, or how they decided to move a certain way. But I don't know anyone that says, oh, I should have quit that. There's often a thought of, I'm so glad I kept up with this. Even at the hardest points, and the moments where you're crying or you're frustrated and you don't think you're going to get it, or that the sport is for you. Those are really difficult times, and we're all going to go through them. The hope is that we have people in our corner that can see those difficult times and kind of step in and help out a little bit, guide us, give us some encouraging words. But at the end of the day, it's up to you. Don't quit on your worst day at all. Give us some time. Allow your emotions to settle. Don't negate them. Don't ignore them. They're only going to fester. But give yourself some time, man, and make decisions based on that. Whether you got to move, or you got to say something, or you have to give yourself some time to heal, or give yourself some time to handle whatever it might be. Do not quit on your worst day. It's the best advice that I think I was given. I'm pretty sure someone told me that, not just that I heard it somewhere. And it's the best advice that I think that I've ever given other people. And it's advice that I've heard people say that I've told them. And that's a huge plus. Like I get really genuinely happy when I see someone that's made it to black belt, or is training several years after that episode of wanting to quit. And they tell me, hey, this phrase that you gave me was the reason why I stuck it out. If you have any questions, if you're in a state where you feel like you need some advice because of some stuff that's going on, injuries, or you self-doubt, or you just feel like, hey, I want to quit, but I need a second opinion, or I just want to talk it out, reach out to me. I love helping people. I love answering questions. I try to be a form of leadership in the community, even if it's just in a small, tiny little area. But if you need help, please reach out. DFM.2099, dfmcoaching.com. Until next time, thank you so much.